Until about 10 standard years after the Battle of Endor, little was known of the Chiss, a humanoid species from the frigid world of Sicila in the unknown regions, other than the fact that Imperial Grand Admiral Thrawn was one of them. Thrawn, whose real name was Mithror Nuruodo, revealed almost nothing about his species. Despite his exile, Thrawn was secretive regarding his people. However, agents of the New Republic, after conducting analyses of surrendered and captured Imperial logs, found several points of interest. In addition, reports from the University of Sambra that detail investigations of Chiss sites such as Nirowan have yielded reliable information. Very few recorded encounters with the Chiss have been unearthed, although they are reputed to have driven back the Siruk, a military threat as fearsome as the Nagai, the Yavetha, and the Yuzan Vong. With blue skin, jet-black hair, and glowing red eyes, the Chiss generally command attention in a crowd of other humanoids. Their skin and eye colors are due to a chemical reaction to an oxygen atmosphere, and the more oxygen contained in the air they breathe, the greater the intensity of these two features. In addition, the evolved changes to their eyes have given the Chiss superior visual acuity, even in low-light conditions. Occasionally, their black hair will gray with age, especially in females. This is considered a mark of distinction in their culture. Among Chiss, it is felt that the child of a parent possessing graying hair will greatly affect society. Other than their distinctive eye and skin color, there is little else to differentiate them physically from standard humans. The Chiss are typically attractive, intelligent, and private people, and are so protective of their society that they have managed to keep their species' existence largely secret from the rest of the galaxy. This isolationism makes it difficult to form conclusive statements about the Chiss. For example, scientists believe they do not experience an adolescent stage of life, but advance quickly to full maturity. However, this may be the result of societal and cultural influences and demands rather than physical growth, or some combination thereof. Scientists also believe that the Chiss are descended from an ancient human colony founded in an age predating the Old Republic. However, they are sufficiently different from humans to be considered an independent species, as is the case with Zeltrons. The Chiss are highly evolved, taking great interest in art and science, and maintain a powerful military. In many accounts, they are described as pensive, contemplative, deliberate, and calculating, studying situations from every viewpoint and considering all the alternatives when making a decision. The Chiss control more than 24 systems surrounding their home world of Sicila, in a political federation known as the Chiss Ascendancy. Their society is regimented, inflexible, and strangely xenophobic, and their colonization and control of neighboring worlds was evidently achieved not for want of power or riches, but instead to establish order over chaotic elements that could ultimately pose a threat to them. Indeed, the Chiss are generally a peaceful species, but when attacked, they fight with efficient, well-planned strategies, and they do not give up the battle until their opponents are destroyed or subjugated. Most, if not all, of the systems they conquered were defeated after their respective leaders attacked the Chiss, as it is against the law for Chiss to engage in preemptive strikes. This is such a moral imperative that Thrawn was exiled when he called for a preemptive strike against an enemy. The Chiss have no known Force traditions. Moreover, research conducted by the Jedi historian Tion has identified only one Chiss Force user, a female Darksider named Severance Tan. Statistically speaking, it is unlikely that Force sensitivity is this rare among an entire species once evidence of its existence has been demonstrated, especially a species so biologically similar to the most widespread Force users, humans. However, one can hypothesize that Chiss practices and beliefs may have led to such a lack of Force traditions and known Force users. as the Chiss believe that aggression against a potential enemy is forbidden until that enemy has launched an attack. The power bestowed by force sensitivity may be considered by the Chiss as too great a temptation. Thus, hypothetically, if there are unrecorded force users among the Chiss, they may work to keep their talents secret. One's family is a paramount concern for Chiss, and a Chiss force user may fear bringing shame upon them, or worse, exile. A public prohibition against disclosing one's talents in the Force may be so strong that unless Chiss are Force-sensitive themselves, they are unaware the Force exists. Records uncovered from the remains of outbound flight suggest that this ignorance of the Force was initially the case with Thrawn, a condition he was not likely to allow for long. We can surmise that because Thrawn had contact with the galaxy outside the unknown regions prior to the Clone Wars, it was most likely Thrawn who brought Tan and her lover, Vandalore, to the attention of Darth Sidious, whom Thrawn had met during the outbound flight crisis. Whether this was an attempt to remove Tan from a difficult and dangerous situation on Cilia, or to simply provide Sidious with a soldier and tactician he could rely on, we will never know. Chiss society is directed by ruling families that are not necessarily indicative of bloodline so much as function, and each family is its own branch of the Chiss government or society. Although details are unclear, reports are that the number of ruling families has fluctuated somewhere between 3 and 12. Some facts have also been discovered regarding 4 of the families. The Nuruodo family, which was Thrawn's clan, controls the military and foreign affairs, and the Sapler family administers the use of the Ascendancy's natural and agricultural resources and manages colonial issues. The Sabosan supervise education, justice, and public health, while the Inrokini direct business, communications, civilian technology, and the sciences. The Chiss are frequently perceived by outsiders as arrogant, calculating, and aloof. It is said that they see every non-Chiss as a potential threat, even when working on a common goal, and as a precautionary measure, they will continuously calculate strategies for protecting their own interests. And if for some reason a Chiss is defeated or humiliated in a venture, he or she will carefully scrutinize what happened to ensure that such a setback does not occur a second time. Despite this xenophobic mistrust of other species, or perhaps because of it, the Chiss have a heightened interest in the study of the scientific and, in the case of Thrawn, artistic achievements of other beings. Through the analysis of these creations, he came to understand the dangers and weaknesses of their potential enemies. One difficulty in uncovering further details on the culture of the Chiss is their incredibly complex language, Chun. Linguists who have managed to record the language find it to be one of the most intricate and indecipherable of all humanoid dialects in the galaxy. It is theorized that the Chiss prefer it that way, as this complexity makes it that much harder for outsiders to learn about them. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And while you're at it, leave a comment below.